everyone, it's Kay. Welcome to my build guide for Animate Weapon Necromancer. This build is designed for survivability while still having good DPS and clear speed. This video showcases an expensive high-end build, but you can start with a lower budget. It scales physical damage, so you shouldn't do physical reflect maps. After the showcase, I will talk about how the build works, the passives, jaws and ascendancy, and suggested gear including gems and links.
When I'm ready, and not before. I need more mana.
shall serve me whether you like it or not. I'm not going anywhere.
When I'm ready.
resistance will be punished. Time and force. Scary. Stop resisting. Reality bends. Punishment and escape.
When I'm ready, I'm not. Scurry! Scurry!
Remember then, Toy must enjoy our contests, while it continues to play. You and I shall do this again soon.
Animate's weapon is a spell that animates a weapon on the ground as a flying minion. It can animate lingering blades that are left behind by blade fall or identify melee weapon dropped as loot. They are temporary minions with about 1.5 minutes duration. So you will need to resummon them during mapping and long boss fights. But don't worry, because the build has enough survivability to let you resummon even while a boss is hitting you. This build is designed for survivability. It uses the following defensive layers: armor stacking, more than 80% early res, capped attack and spell block, elemental ailment immunity, critical strike immunity, ES recovery when blocking, a temporary damage shield, and reducing enemies' damage. For support minions, the build uses a Carrion Golem for extra base damage, a Carnage Chieftain for frenzy charges, a Host Chieftain for power charges, a Pale Seraphim and Demon Harpy to debuff enemies, and an Animate Guardian with Kingmaker. To animate weapons, cast Blade Fall several times to create lingering blades on the ground. Then hold your animate weapon key while moving your mouse over the blade. You will also need to use a mana flask because of the mana reserve. Here's the passive tree for the build. There are 4 key features. 2 extra passive points from killing all bandits in Act 2, Death Attunement Anointing on Amulet, 6 masteries, and 2 sets of cluster jaws. The large jaws are minion damage with 8 points. The notables are Feasting Fiends, Renewal, and Vicious Fight. The medium jaws are 4 or 5 points minion life with Feasting Fiends and Renewal. In the small sockets, there are Fortress and Quickening Covenant, Surging Vitality, and Enduring Composure. In the other jaw sockets, They are ghastly ideals with life, damage, and attack speed. The ascendancies for the build are mindless aggression, unnatural strength, commander of darkness, and mistress of sacrifice. For the Pantheon, I like to use Lunaris and Shakari for reducing damage. Here's an overview of suggested gear, including gems and links. For the helmet, use an Elderborn helmet with +2 or +3 to minion gems and minion life. For more DPS, look for increased physical damage taken. Note that you should avoid minion damage because it reduces the support minions' life by 25%. The gems are Carrion Golem, Raise Spectre, Feeding Frenzy, and Animate Guardian. Please check my Animate Guardian guide for details on his equipment. For the body armor, I recommend the Brass Dome. For more DPS, you can craft it for +2 duration. Use your crafting bench and harvest to get the correct colors. The gems are Animate Weapon, Predator, Minion Damage, Increased Critical Damage, Brutality, and Melee Splash. For endgame bosses, swap Melee Splash to Multi-Strike. For the gloves, Vixen's Entrapment gives an extra curse and auto-casts any Sokitic curses. The gems are Blade Fall, Assassin's Mark, Flame Dash, and Life Tap. The self-cast curse is Enfeeble, which is Sokitic in the shield. I recommend crafting your boots with Essence of Envy to get Chaos Reds. The gems are Determination, Anomalous Dread Banner, Tempest Shield, and Purity of Elements. Anomalous Dread Banner makes nearby enemies deal less damage. For the wand, the important mods are +1 to minions and spells. You can also get minion damage and attack speed. It also needs an open suffix to craft trigger. This will auto-cast the Sokitic gems, which are Desecrate, Bone Offering, and Life Tap. Desecrate must be Sokitic before Bone Offering. For your shield, I recommend Aegis Aurora. The gems are Molten Shell, Convocation, and Enfeeble. The amulet is Ashes of the Stars with Death Attunement. Quality is the most important stat. The rings are used to get as much life and res as possible. And I highly recommend crafting minion speed. The build is the Darkness Enthroned to socket more ghastly ideals. For the flasks, I recommend Life, Basalt, Quicksilver, Mana, and Remy's Concoction. For the effects, increase armor and remove curse. And I highly recommend the Enduring prefix for your mana flask. As always, a big thank you to my patrons. Thank you for your support. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this build guide. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And please check the pinned comments for any updates. Thanks for watching. Bye!